In New York, the lowest level of crimes involving contact of a sexual nature are called forcible touching and sexual abuse. Most sex crimes in New York are felonies, but forcible touching and two kinds of sexual abuse are misdemeanors. In some cases, forcible touching and sexual abuse convictions require registration as a sexual offender, but registration may not be automatic. Forcible touching is defined as intentionally and for no legitimate purpose touching the sexual or other intimate parts of another to degrade or abuse a person or to gratify one's sexual desire. The crime is often charged when contact is alleged in crowded places like public transportation, concerts, and in bars. One crucial defense to the charge is that contact was accidental and not intentional. Touching is defined broadly to include squeezing, grabbing, pinching, rubbing, or some level of pressure. Sexual or other intimate parts means what one might imagine, as well as thighs or buttocks. Finally, while consent is an element of the crime, the lack of consent may be implied, for instance, if the two people are strangers. Forcible touching is a Class A misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in jail. A first-time conviction for forcible touching may not require sex offender registration. There are two circumstances in which a person convicted of the crime will have to register: if the victim is under 18, or the person has a prior conviction of the crime, an attempt to commit the crime, or a conviction under a similar statute in another jurisdiction. Opportunities for a plea agreement in forcible touching cases are more limited than most misdemeanor cases. The prosecutor may not offer a non-criminal plea, even for a first-time offender. Prosecutors may require the completion of a treatment program or private therapy as part of a plea bargain if one is offered. Sexual abuse in the third degree is charged when a person subjects another to sexual contact without their consent. The crime is classified as a Class B misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail, and is often charged with forcible touching. Sexual abuse in the second degree is charged when one subjects another person to sexual contact and the person is under 14 years old, or if the person is incapable of consenting for some reason other than if he or she is under 17 years old. Sexual abuse in the second degree is a Class A misdemeanor. Unlike the third degree crime and forcible touching, a conviction of sexual abuse in the second degree requires registration as a sex offender. Those who are required to register as a sex offender are classified based on the risk of committing an additional sex crime and the harm to the community as determined at a hearing. A person may be classified as one of three levels. Level 1, low risk, requiring registration for 20 years unless the offender has been designated a sexual predator, violent offender, or predicate offender. Level 2, moderate risk, requiring registration for life. Level 3, high risk, requiring registration for life. Registry requirements are onerous, a few of which include frequent reporting of residence, notifying of new address within 10 days of moving, and updating photographs taken at the local police department. Failure to comply with registration requirements is a Class E felony and is elevated to a Class D felony for a second offense. As a former prosecutor and current criminal defense attorney in New York, Andrew has handled hundreds of cases involving alleged sexual offenses. Visit the website of Andrew M. Stengel for more information, stengellaw.com, or send an email to info@stengellaw.com.